sometimes in a program you need to perform the same operation over and over again. This is not unlike what happens when your alarm clock goes off. When your alarm clock goes off, you press the snooze button, and then the clock stays silent for a few minutes, and then it alarms again. So it continues to do this. It sounds the alarm, and you press the snooze button. This process repeats until you finally get up and turn the alarm clock off. Well, in a program, similar situations occur where we have to perform the same thing over and over again. For example, we may have to perform some operation a specified number of times. Or in other situations, we might have to repeat some operation until a Boolean expression is true. Well, in a program, we use a loop to make this happen. A loop is a programming construct that causes one or more statements to repeatedly execute. In this video, we're going to look at a specific type of loop. We're going to look at the while loop. Here is the general format of a while loop in Python. It starts with the word while, followed by a Boolean expression, which is followed by a colon. And then beginning on the next line, we have a block, an indented block of one or more statements. And as always, with Python, the indentation is required. So the loop works like this. It first tests the value of the Boolean expression, and if the expression is true, the statements in this block are executed one after the other. And then the loop starts over. It tests the Boolean expression. If it's true, the statements in the block are executed. And this process repeats until the Boolean expression is found to be false. When the Boolean expression is found to be false, the loop stops executing, and the program resumes with any statement that appears after the loop. Well, let's switch over to the Python shell and type in the code for a simple while loop and see how it works. Okay, now I'm going to type some code that includes a while loop, and you follow along as I'm writing the code and see if you can determine what the code is going to do. So first I'm going to create a variable named count and assign it the value 0, and then my while loop says while count is less than 3, then in the loop we're going to print hello, and then we have this statement, count equal count plus 1. Okay, so now I'm going to execute the loop, and you can see the output of the loop is the word hello printed 3 times. Now, it might be a good idea, in order for you to make sure that you understand what happened in this loop, it might be a good idea if we step through this code. Okay, so let's do that. Okay, so first we executed this statement, count equals 0, and then we started the loop while count is less than 3. Okay, well, that expression is true. 0 is less than 3. So we know that this block will execute. We print hello, and then we execute this statement, count equal count plus 1. Now that simply adds 1 to the count variable. So now the count variable is assigned the value 1, and the loop starts over. While count is less than 3. Okay, well, that's true. 1 is less than 3, so we print hello, and then count equal count plus 1. Now count is assigned the value 2, and the loop starts over again. While count is less than 3. Well, that's true, so we print hello, and then count equal count plus 1. Now the count variable is assigned the value 3, and the loop starts over again. While count less than 3. Well, this time the expression is false because 3 is not less than 3. So since the expression is false, the loop stops, and that concludes the execution of that piece of code. Here we have the same code in a Python program. And so if we run this program, we should see the same output that we saw previously. We see hello 3 times. Now we can alter the number of times that the loop executes by changing the value shown here. If I change that to a 5, then this loop should run 5 times. Let's try it. Okay, and there's the output shown 5 times. If I change this to a 10, then here's the output shown 10 times. Now you want to be careful when writing while loops that you don't inadvertently create an infinite loop. An infinite loop is a loop that will just keep executing forever. Well, theoretically forever. It'll keep executing until you shut the program down or until you interrupt its execution through some external means. So let's look at an example of an infinite loop. We'll just stick with the example that we've been looking at so far. We're going to set count to 0, and then let's have a while loop while count less than 3, and inside the loop we're going to print the word hello, but this time I'm not going to write the statement that adds 1 to count. So before I execute this loop, let's take a closer look at it. We've set count to 0, and the loop says while count is less than 3, and we have this one statement that says print hello. Now notice that inside the loop nothing changes the count variable, so the count variable will always be assigned the value 0. This Boolean expression will always be true. Count will never reach a value that is 3 or greater, so this loop theoretically will execute forever. Okay, well, to prove that, I'm going to execute the loop, and there you can see it just continues to run. Now I can interrupt it. I can actually stop this by pressing Control-C on the keyboard, and that stops the whole thing. But this is something that you want to be careful not to inadvertently create. Every while loop should have some way of stopping.